scene.
So, okay. So, apparently, the boy was struggling with his sexuality and he didn't want to tell his parents. Well, he wasn't struggling with it, but he was scared to tell his parents about his sexuality because of their religion. And he just ran away randomly. It had no means of coming back at all. He bought a ticket, one-way ticket. He left the PSP without getting the charger, which is confusing me.
On September 14th, 2007, Andrew Gosden woke up early in the morning and got dressed in his school uniform, just like he always did. He opened his front door, said goodbye to his family and set off towards school, just like he always did. On this occasion, however, Andrew never arrived at school. Instead, Andrew withdrew the contents of his bank account and bought a one-way ticket to London. This was the last time anybody saw Andrew again.
Wait, he took a one-way ticket?
Instead, Andrew withdrew the contents of his bank account and bought a one-way ticket to London.
Oh, to London.
This was the last time anybody specifically requested that I look at this case. Andrew was born in Doncaster, South Yorkshire in the north of England. His parents were both committed Christians but never forced Andrew to participate in religion, instead allowing him the freedom to choose so as not to impose their views on him. Andrew was a boy who loved to be at home and rarely ventured outside, instead preferring the company of his family or even just by himself. At school, he was a straight-A student who was often described as intelligent and gifted by teachers and other students. He was an especially proficient mathematician and had won prizes, and it was projected that he would eventually attend Cambridge University. Andrew never once missed a day of school and was always well behaved, never having a single blemish on his perfect disciplinary record. His aptitude for academic life often left him feeling unchallenged, and his attitude towards school was considered to be neutral, with the hope that the coming academic year would provide him with more challenges than the previous one. During the school holidays in 2006, Andrew attended a special program for exceptionally bright students, which was a trip to Lancaster University for 2 weeks. Upon returning, his parents found him to be much more animated than usual, and had clearly enjoyed the trip. His parents commented that this was very strange for him because he was usually far more reserved and detached. Andrew did have some friends at school who, like him, were overachievers, all of whom spoke nice things about Andrew, but none of whom Andrew associated with outside of school. He had never shown any signs of mental health problems, and there was no evidence that he was ever bullied at school either. Andrew's dad described him as a deep character who often kept his emotions in control, and was rarely prone to any type of outburst. He also described him as being a bit absent-minded and lacking in street smarts. His teachers described him as shy and quiet, but mature beyond his years. Andrew had little to no interest in socializing with people and rarely used a mobile phone. He had been given one for his 12th birthday, but lost it and decided not to have it replaced when offered by his parents. Instead, he asked for a new Xbox because he had never used a mobile phone. Andrew enjoyed playing video games and listening to heavy metal music. During the 2007 summer holidays, Andrew's parents suggested that he take a trip to London to visit his grandmother, something which he had done before, and was said to be very familiar with London and its underground transit system, and had previously navigated it with confidence. Andrew decided not to visit London and his grandmother because he wanted to stay home for the summer holidays. A couple of days before his disappearance, he twice changed his daily routine. While for most people this wouldn't be anything out of the ordinary, in Andrew's case, he hadn't changed his routine throughout his entire school life.
You figured out why I messed up. Why is it messing up?
On 2 separate occasions, Andrew decided to skip the bus ride home and instead walk. His school was 4 miles away from home, and the walk takes approximately 1 hour and 20 minutes. Nobody knows why he chose to do this. In 20 minutes. He hadn't changed his routine throughout his entire school life. On 2 separate occasions, Andrew decided to skip the bus ride home and instead walk. His school was 4 miles away from home, and the walk takes approximately 1 hour and 20 minutes. Nobody knows why he chose to do this. The night before his disappearance, he came home from school as usual, ate dinner with his family, washed the dishes, and then spent an hour making a jigsaw with his dad before watching Mock the Week with his mother. All in all, it was a very ordinary evening.
Like what?
Irritable. Something which his mother noted because it was very unusual. He was normally a very early riser and a morning person. At 8:05 a.m, he left the family home and was spotted by Reverend Alan Murray crossing a local park on his way to the bus stop to catch the school bus. Instead of catching the bus, however, Andrew took a detour and visited a local cash machine.
So
at that cash machine, he withdrew 200 of the available £214 in his bank account. It's likely he might have withdrawn more, but the cash machine would only dispense 20s, meaning 200 was the maximum that he could possibly withdraw. A few minutes later, a neighbour's CCTV camera watched Andrew return home and enter the house. Inside the house, Andrew changed his clothes into black jeans and a Slipknot t-shirt. He then placed his blazer on the chair, picked up his keys and wallet and stuffed them into his bag, which was covered with logos of heavy metal bands. He then grabbed his Sony PSP and exited the house. He did not take the charger for his...
Hold on. You ever have a PSP, Levy? Yeah, well, like, you were probably a baby, like, when this came out. Probably not, right? Oh my God, best handheld device ever, bro. My God. Oh, well, no, that might have been like the Game Boys, but like, nah, PSP was on another level. My gosh.
His games console.
That's what everyone told me. So I gotta figure out. I mean, it's a way to go back to Windows 10. I just gotta figure it out.
His passport or his
YouTube
birthday money, which was around £100. At 8:30, Andrew was seen walking towards Doncaster railway station by local CCTV, where he bought a one-way ticket. The clerk told Andrew to buy a return because it was only 50p more expensive, but Andrew insisted on a one-way ticket only.
Wait.
At 9:30, one-way ticket. At 8.
Wait, but I'm still lost. I'm still a little stuck at you took the PSP without the charger? What's the sense of taking the PSP then?
Way ticket.
But those games are so
The
fun still.
clerk
Like to play
told
with
Andrew
family.
to buy a return because it was only 50p more expensive, but Andrew insisted on a one-way ticket only. At 9:35, Andrew boarded the train and sat next to a woman who later commented that she saw Andrew and that he seemed quiet and he was fixated on his video game. At Andrew's school around the same time, the staff noticed that he's not there and asked the secretary to call his parents because it was the first time that...
Love, you think this kid ran away? Like, what do you think happened? So the boy, I thought that, okay, the boy got kidnapped or something. But now they're saying that he wanted a one-way ticket. Like, he got a one-way ticket. He packed up some his bags with the PSP. So it's like he was planning this. So, like, I gotta see where the story is going. Like,
school, and he was also never late. The secretary called his parents and left a message on their answer phone. The train arrives at London King's Cross Station at 11:20. Andrew disembarks the train and by 11:25 is seen by station CCTV leaving the main entrance. This is the last confirmed sighting of 14-year-old Andrew Gosden. When his parents return home from work, they initially believe Andrew to be in the basement playing video games, as this was his normal routine. It's only when they sit down for dinner and Andrew doesn't join them that they realise he isn't at home.
What?
They call his friends thinking that
Well, first of all, why the parents ain't checking on their kids? What do you mean? Go check on
he
him.
visited and lost track of time, but he's not there. They then call the school, who informs them that he wasn't at school all day. Turns out, the school had accidentally left a message for the wrong parents in a mix-up at administration. When the school informed them that Andrew hadn't been there at all, despite the family seeing him leave, they become very worried and call the police before heading out into the night to look for him. They retrace his route to school to see if they can find any clues on the way there, but find nothing. A couple of hours later, they make a missing persons leaflet and circulate it throughout the neighborhood. When it gets too dark to continue looking, they return. The following day, the police conduct a search of local bushes, but also find nothing. A few days later, the woman who sold Andrew the ticket to London comes forward to offer this information and confirms that he did indeed travel to London. She recounts that she found his insistence on a one-way ticket strange when the price of a return was only very minimally more expensive. It's this detail which makes Andrew memorable. Following this, the family travelled to London to distribute flyers around the area where they had family. Thought that might be where Andrew had visited. The police also request that the British Transport Police review CCTV footage to try and track Andrew's movements. Initially, they fail to find Andrew in any of the footage, and so Yorkshire Police send an officer down to review the footage again, and after 2 weeks of searching, identifies him due to the distinctive double ridge on his ear. Within the first 2 weeks of his disappearance, a number of people claim to have seen Andrew in various places. Some of these, the family thought, seemed credible due to the description of Andrew's manner when witnesses spoke to him. One sighting was at a Pizza Hut on Oxford Street, about 2.5 miles from King's Cross Station. There were other claimed sightings across London outside of the train stations and museums. Andrew's father claimed that the police never investigated these sightings. One year later, a man visited a police station in Leominster system. In the time it took for an officer to head downstairs to speak with the man,
So you can play GTA now.
he had already left the premises.
Well, hopefully everything works out.
What made this
Like once you
unusual
re-download
is
it.
that this particular police station is located in a business park, which isn't part of any well-used public transit route, so visiting the station would require someone to specifically travel to it. Police later appealed for the individual to get in touch again, but nobody ever came forward. Claimed to be the same individual, wrote anonymously into the BBC and gave details of a sighting of someone fitting the description of Andrew in Shrewsbury of November 2008. It was never confirmed if this individual was the same person who attended the police station or not, and the sighting of Andrew was never confirmed either. In September of 2009, Kevin, Andrew's father, appealed to the gay community and considered that perhaps Andrew had been struggling with his identity and not been able to talk about it due to his parents' religion. Throughout the years, the family and police have made repeated attempts for further information using both traditional media and social media to locate him, but never revealed any new information. Over the years, there were many reported sightings of Andrew around the same area, with people claiming that he had seen him getting off a train from Waterloo at Mortlake Station 5 days after he'd disappeared, and also walking along Sheen Lane. Each time, though, police and family have been unable to confirm the sighting. The family criticised how the police handled the investigation, stating that police rarely followed up on leads and clues and were instead much more focused
How are you
on
back
the family
already? What the hell?
themselves, suspecting that they were the reason for Andrew's disappearance. Andrew's father Kevin claimed the police carried out unlawful recordings of their conversations and tried to pressure him into admitting that he was responsible for his son's disappearance. Some leads and sightings were also not followed up on for weeks, meaning if the lead was genuine, it would likely have gone cold by the time the police followed up on it. Then, when appearing on the Generation Y podcast in 2018, Andrew's parents said that someone had reported an online conversation with somebody using the name Andy Rue, which was known to be Andy's nickname. This person had said that their boyfriend had left them and they needed £200 to pay for their rent. And when someone offered to...
Wait, what? Hold on. Okay, wait. No, that can't be him. But, like, how old was the boy again? Like 14? Like 14? Oh, and I think they said 2 years went by. Okay, so 16 with a boyfriend and an apartment.
Send money to this person. They said that they didn't have a bank account because they left home when they were 14. This lead was investigated, but police never identified the person.
They never found the guy. I mean, not that I don't want to watch this guy talk or anything,